All right, I wanted to watch this. It's like an am I the butthole kind of a thing. And so if you see the prompt here, you ready for it? It's gonna be crazy.
I stuck with my wife through her battle with cancer, and now she wants a hall pass. My wife and I have been married since 2001 and together since
What do you think about that? You look at her face.
1999. She is the most intelligent, thoughtful, caring.
I actually, I want to ask you this question, but if you tell me that you don't want to talk about it yet, because something came up in your stream the other day, and I was going to ask you. I feel like you would believe in hall passes.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel
Maybe
about
not
that.
in our relationship, or maybe
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
know.
I think that I don't know if we could handle sleeping with another person.
I feel like in general you would believe in hall passes.
Not so much anymore. Like I don't. If for us, I've never been in love before until I met you. Like truly in love. So when I was like, yeah, hall pass sounds fine. I think I was like, okay, whatever. Nowadays, though, like we're in love a lot, and I'm not sure that you or I could sleep with another person and look at each other. Like I could sleep with another woman tomorrow, and it mean absolutely nothing to me. But I don't think that you would understand that, and because of that, I wouldn't want to do it. Because I think that you would get so upset and it would ruin our relationship. I don't want that. I don't. It doesn't mean anything to me to sleep with another woman. And like, there's no way you're sleeping with another guy. I think I could let you sleep with a girl, as long as I got to watch, maybe.
I feel like
I'm just saying.
I feel like if you want to ask for a hall pass, like yeah, you could have all of the hall passes you want. You know.
That's why I'll never ask for one, because my wife is
Goodbye.
a no. That's the boundary gotta set. In this case, though, it's because she has cancer and she saw her whole life flash before your eyes. Do you think it's more acceptable because of that?
Well, I want to hear the rest of it to judge their situation.
Loyal person I know, and I have always thought of myself as fortunate to have met and married her. She is, even today, aesthetically beautiful, and men have told her this throughout our marriage.
Today.
She has always shot them down. Earlier this year, she was diagnosed with uterine cancer, stage 1, and had a full hysterectomy. I was never concerned about the cancer.
Why don't they call it a hysterectomy since it's in a woman? Sexism?
It was diagnosed early, dealt with quickly, and she made a full recovery. I took time off work to look after her after the surgery, and all seemed well. There were some to be expected emotional instances on her part, and although I am not an emotional person, we dealt with them together. After her recovery, she was insistent that we start living life to the fullest and took a 10-day trip to Europe, followed by a trip to Belize. I am fine with these things, building memories and crossing bucket list adventures off her list. I also understand that these are a result of feeling fragile on her part. She also took up yoga, swimming, and healthy cooking classes. I was fully on board until last week. Last week she came home from work and told me she wanted a hall pass. A one-time opportunity for her to sleep with someone else besides me.
Is there a specific guy?
I was gonna say she came home from work and said it. Like, is the person in mind?
I don't think I would accept either, but there's a difference between wanting a hall pass to sleep with somebody to cross off your bucket list versus wanting it to sleep with a specific person. If I was like, hey, I wanna sleep with a little person, but I didn't have one in mind, that's a little different. You know what I mean? What? Okay, I'm sorry.
Press play.
I'm sorry.
She said that since her cancer diagnosis, her outlook on life has changed and she doesn't want to be handcuffed from doing things she wants to do. She explained that there is this guy at her work that she has always had some attraction to.
Nope, never. If you ever said that to me, that would be horrible. If I ever said that to you, we're toxic.
Listen,
we're very toxic. So if that happened to one of us, you would expect to see it in the news. And because of that information, we would never do anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's a positive boundary. Okay.
But I also just don't feel that.
You don't feel what?
I don't feel attraction to other people anymore.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I really don't feel very attracted to other people anymore.
It sounds like this woman had cancer, and her response has been she's ready to move on in life. That's what this sounds like.
You think that's what it is? She always had a sneaking thought about another person she worked with, and now that she had cancer, she's like, you know what, maybe I'm not as happy with this guy because I've critically thought about my life.
Maybe, yeah.
That's sad for that guy, especially since he was supportive. Sorry, I have an itch down here.
I don't want to sound like an asshole, but this is one of the things I'm thinking of too. Everybody's cancer is different and everything. But he's oh, she had a hysterectomy and I was there for the recovery. It's not that long. I'm not trying to sound like an asshole.
Okay.
And being supportive to a person in that situation, like, is very important, and that is a sacrifice you make, right?
Okay.
But I don't know, I guess the way that he said it makes me like almost gives it's like an AI reading it. But I feel like I'm supposed to feel like he like took years out of his life out of work.
I
to
understand what you're
support
saying.
her.
He did like this incredible. You're okay. I understand what you're saying because I got the same feeling, but I figured it was valid. I think it is still going to be valid to an extent, but I know what you're saying. You're saying is like she got cancer. It was in stage 1, which is like the best cancer. It's not the cancer.
If you have
bad.
cancer, stage 1 is
Where you catch
better,
it, and so she
yeah.
got something that was like a little bit of whatever, but it wasn't like a huge deal. He didn't like jump through hoops and like stick with somebody that was fucking shitting themselves for 3 years and like just fucking like just yeah. I get what you're saying. And he's like, I stuck with her, but this is more of like, oh, I got cancer, and I kind of thought, and it was like, yeah, I got a hysterectomy. What's the recovery for a hysterectomy? Let's see, movie for a hysterectomy. Is 2 to 3 days.
6 to 8 weeks.
Okay, so it's you go home about 2 or 3 days, and it takes about like a 1 to 2 months, we'll say, to recover. And like that does suck, but it's like, it's not like self-sacrificing to some massive extent. Like it's like, hey, can you get me some food when you're up? Because I can't really. I'm a little less mobile.
Like my mom was out of. I think that she went back to work like even before she was fully healed.
Right. I get what you're saying. So what we're basically talking about now is like he didn't go through any massively significant like sacrifice. And so now what's happening is she's basically contemplating her marriage because she had a near-death experience, basically, to an extent, kind of, or at least he got her thinking and had like an existential crisis. And now she's like, you know what? I don't think I'm with the right guy. But it's not like it was like 3 years of her like wetting the bed and like not being able to move, and him being super supportive for her to now spin it around. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, like,
it's harsh, but it's fair.
I have like negative judgments of people, especially men. So for me, I'm trying to hear like we still have so much to go through in this
Somebody
video.
said having hormones or hormones go crazy once you get your hysterectomy outed.
Yeah, it depends on like what type of hysterectomy you get. So like for my mom, for example, she had cervical cancer, and then they gave her a hysterectomy just to like I guess prevent like the cancer spreading or whatever. Yeah. But she didn't get a total hysterectomy, which means like she kept, I guess, her fallopian tube. So because if you get a total hysterectomy, you go straight into menopause. So my mom kept her shit so that like she didn't get that crazy hormonal change. So there's like different things, different procedures. But
that would be what a sad thing if one day, because of a hormone shift, you'd fell out of love with me.
That would be terrible, and I don't think
that's not going to happen,
because it's also all up here, baby.
You're sure that's not going to happen?
I'm 100% sure that's not going to happen.
You're going to promise me that's not going to happen?
I would die before I don't love you.
Okay, that makes me a little scared. Okay, sorry.
Anyways,
let's
so what
on.
I'm saying is that I don't trust men, so I'm hearing this video, and I feel like it sounds like she had cancer, and now she kind of wants to live her life to the fullest, which doesn't include him, and he is being like, shitty, I sacrificed everything for her because she had cancer. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To give more of a feel empathetic towards me.
I understand what you're saying.
But I could be completely wrong.
And as for it is somewhat normal to get a divorce, and it sounds like what you're saying is like it's not good, but it's not the worst. I will tell you one thing that is really shitty though. There's a difference between going to somebody in a relationship saying, I think it's time for us to end this, versus saying, I want to test out the other person and be able to come back to you.
Oh, 100%.
That's the problem. If she was like, you know what, I love you, but I had this whole existential crisis and I think I want to get a divorce, that at least is owning up to your perspective. But she's saying, I want to go test another guy out, and if it goes well, he's going to leave her. That's the problem. She doesn't love him anymore. Just bring it. Just be honest about it, instead of like playing this game. Because I don't think marriage has to be forever. You know, people might fall out of love. Ours does, or well, you know, but yeah, okay.
He is leaving the company and she will never see him again. So this is the perfect opportunity to sleep with someone else.
Oh my God.
She said that I could say no, of course, but that she would be disappointed with me for an indeterminate amount of time, and that
that's just emotionally manipulative.
it would be confirmation of my male toxicity and insecurity.
This is not real.
No, it's not.
Not real anymore. This isn't real.
I don't consider myself to be toxic, and if not wanting your wife of over 20 years to sleep with someone else is insecure, then I guess I am insecure. I told her that I appreciated her talking to me about this, but approval via coercion is not approval.
This isn't real. none of this is real. But I've still invested in the story.
I also said that I do not appreciate her language in describing my, as of yet, unknown reaction to this very large issue that could affect the rest of our marriage and life together. I got up in the morning, and she basically said that she was sorry for putting such a large decision solely on my shoulders and that to help she was taking the decision away from me. I immediately sarcastically thought to myself, wow, thanks, that's just what I needed. She booked a hotel near where her coworkers are having a send-off party for this guy, and she would spend the night there, with him and hope that I would be here when she got back. She told me that she would answer any questions I have about the night after it happened but not before. She would not tell me who he is or anything about him because she knows me too well and
Well, how would you answer questions before? Oh, okay.
that I will dwell and obsess over him and that would make it too real for me, which is pretty accurate. Her idea was that the less I know the better, which contradicts the offer to tell me anything I want to know after it happened. At first I thought, at least she has been honest with me, and she has been through a lot since finding out she had cancer, so maybe I should just let it happen. I certainly have no concept of what she went through, so I cannot dismiss how this affected her outlook on life. I even called her best friend to talk about it, and she called me callous for just being on the fence about it, because I have no idea what she went through. After that conversation, I was feeling pretty bad about it all, and was going to apologize and give my wife my blessing.
What did you say?
That's fake.
This is so fake. This isn't even real. Unless,
No.
and if it is real, then she deserves to get cheated on, though.
The best friend does not say you're callous for feeling
No,
that way.
no.
Because you don't know what she went through.
Nobody, his best friend or her best friend? It was
Her best friend.
Yeah, there's no way. If you would roll over on that, bro, if you ever played some power play like that, it's not going to happen. Like, it would
If
just,
my best friend's husband called me and was like, my best friend wants to, like, my wife wants to cheat on me, but I'd be like, oh my God, like, what are you talking about? Even though I would know fully what the whole plan is.
yeah. I'd be like, that is crazy. And I'd be like, don't talk to me, though, because, like, we're not friends, you know what I mean? But, like, yeah, there's no way. If you should leave her, or, you know, listen, you didn't do anything illegal. But if she's telling you she's going to do this to you, I mean, right to the moon, right? You know? Listen, it's not right, but that's a horrible thing, right? Like, if my wife stabbed me because I cheated on her, I would understand. It'd be illegal, but I mean, you know, I deserve
Go
it.
to jail happy.
I'm just saying. You know?
All right, let's finish
Okay,
this
yeah.
bitch.
But it also happened to be Thursday during NFL season, and me and my boys always get together
My
to watch the
boys.
games.
We fuck each
Before
other.
apologizing to my wife, I thought it would be nice to get my mind off of the whole thing and watch some football with my guys. So I went to my friend
guys.
Jerry's house, and we had a few beers, and then I let it spill about what was going on. Jerry was the first to react. His jaw dropped to the floor, and he just said, "Are you joking?" I shook my head. Then Kevin, who was my best man, shook his head and said, "Dude, cancer or no cancer, that's totally messed up. You've been married for 20 years now. It's way too
See,
late to spring
I
something
feel
like
like
that on
a true man's reaction would be like, all right, well, who are you going to fuck now?
Absolutely. Oh, she's gonna fuck, then you gotta fuck too. But well, actually, a real man's reaction is, I think, for like, if a woman was like, I think I want one to whole piss, me too. Let's go, motherfucker. I get to fuck someone too, then, bitch. You know what I mean? This is just fake. Unless this is just fake.
Larry, who never really got along well with my wife, just said, "I told you she was crazy, man. You gotta dump her if she goes through with it." After he
Dump her.
said that, I responded, "Come on, Larry, that's way too far," and looked around the room for approval from the rest of the guys. None of them were in agreement with me.
Whoa.
In fact, they all more or less agreed with Larry. I then told them what her best friend had said to me.
More or less agree.
Kevin was just like, "Dude, she's her best friend. Of course she's going to take her side. Why would you even talk to her? That's like being in an echo chamber." After talking with them some more, I felt
They've been married for 30 years, so they're like 40 years old. Right? Let's just say, at least. And they're using the word echo chamber. That's not happening. That's like online fucking debate trigger
That's what we
word.
need the buzzer to go off.
Yeah, like a 16-year-old wrote this. That's like, I don't really like women. Let me write a sting about how women are so mean. Right? Fucking Larry. The name's Larry, Kevin, and Jerry. My boys. Hey guys, I'm 40-something. My boys. I'm gonna hang out with my boys today. That's what like a fucking 80-year-old grandma says about seeing their kids. I'm gonna hang out with my boys today.
My boy.
My boy.
ironclad in my conviction that I was not okay with my wife sleeping with some other guy, and that if she did, I would divorce her.
Whoa.
When I went home that night, I felt strong. I was hoping that my opposition to her plans would give her pause, but unfortunately that did not happen. I told her, "I am a hard no, and I am not sure how I will feel about you, if you go ahead with it." I was met once again with, "This is for me, it will be one time. What can I say to help you deal with it?"
This guy seems very easy to manipulate, though, if he was real. Because all it takes is for his friend, for her to say, "You're bad," and he's like, "I am," and they're like, "No, you're good." "Oh, I am." It's like you're not very consistent.
You'll get over it. We were meant to be regardless of the situation. I told her that this could very well be the end of our relationship, but she didn't seem to believe me, or she just didn't care.
Damn.
She left Saturday,
Maybe he's a beta.
ostensibly to meet her coworkers, but in reality, it was all to sleep with the guy. I asked her to text me when she was leaving for the bar, and when she did I asked her if she was really going to go through with this. After her response, I am not answering any more questions tonight, I will see you tomorrow, I blocked my wife. Then I did something either stupid or brilliant. I went to the bar where the get-together was happening.
Whoa.
Well, not the bar, but a transit bench across the street.
Okay.
I waited for
Weird.
a long time. It was running through my mind leading up to this event that I needed to know who this guy was, maybe to compare myself against him. To see what he had that I did not.
Jerry?
It was driving me crazy not knowing.
You think it's like Jerry?
Do you think it's Jerry, Kevin, or Larry?
I don't know.
I think it's Larry.
No, it's Jerry. No, it is Larry. Larry didn't like
Larry's
her.
the one that's like, oh, she's crazy.
If it's
And
Larry,
I love crazy.
if it's Larry was the one that didn't like her from the start, right?
Yeah.
If it's Larry, we know it's fake.
Knowing who he was and what was so special about him that she would ruin a marriage for. For context, I'm in very good shape for my age and I'm 6'2", so
Wow.
I had always felt pretty confident in my looks.
Still shorter
at least
than you,
until this
Daddy.
happened. I was imagining some sort of younger,
I
more
got A shape, you know.
attractive guy who was in better shape or something. After what seemed like eternity, a woman that I recognized from my wife's office left the bar and got in a cab. Soon other people started filing out and a whole group came out and people were hugging a man and shaking his hand.
It was
As soon as
Larry.
I had my guy. I didn't see my wife and had a brief thought that maybe she called it all off. I unblocked her and there were no messages. Everyone said their goodbyes and left. Dude was standing outside for a few minutes.
Why would you get the messages if they were blocked? Whatever.
My wife came out. She looked around, took his hand and started walking away together. Of all the emotions I went through, trepidation, sadness, anger, it was disgust that really encapsulated the event for me. This guy was short, fat, and bald, all the things I cannot compete with, because who wants to be short, fat, and bald? Ultimately, I felt gross for watching from a distance.
Okay.
I followed until they got to the hotel, and then turned around and went home.
Okay.
Then I texted Larry, the guy who didn't like my wife from the start.
I guess it wasn't Larry.
I told him she was going through with it, and that I was going through with a divorce. He was a veteran of no less than 4 divorces, so he knew all the tricks.
Okay.
With his advice, hopefully at least I could get a good
He knew all the tricks. What the fuck? He sounds like an asshole.
settlement. He immediately started telling me how to proceed. I woke up Sunday morning and put a lock on the master bedroom door. I moved her things to the spare room and left a note asking her to find other accommodations as quickly as possible. I visited Larry, and he gave me some sage advice, as well as a couple of recommendations
Some
for
sage advice. I'm pretty sure that's an internet meme when you say something is like sage. This
I've
guy's
never heard that before in my
I know.
life.
Even I'm too old for it. That's my point. I'm 33. This guy's at least 40 something. This is fake. Yeah, another confirmation.
divorce attorneys and made the introductions. My wife had been calling me numerous times since around 11 or so. Once blocked, the calls go to voicemail. I listened to the first couple but felt nothing but some satisfaction when she couldn't get through to me and she was obviously becoming concerned. I didn't want to go home but I left in such a hurry that I didn't plan an overnight properly. I got home around 9 and as per my Larry's advice, I recorded the interaction.
As per my
Oh, my
Larry.
Larry.
As per my Larry's advice.
Was halfway up the stairs when she came up from the family room asking, "What's going on? Could we talk? I thought we talked about this?" I just answered, "I am not interested in discussing this tonight," and went to bed. After not getting a response from me through the door, she left me alone. I feel kind of like a child for not talking with her and shutting the door on her, but I just couldn't look at her. Monday I got up and ready for work. She was waiting for me and asked if we could discuss getting back to normal. I said, "You have been doing all the talking for the both of us for the last week. Why don't you continue?" and left for work.
Ooh.
I have an appointment with the attorney Larry recommended for this week.
All right. That just wasn't real.
Yeah, I feel like that was a story for young men to be like, yeah,
Yeah, I hate
she's
women.
a bitch.
Yeah. Divorce her and marry the guy she had the hall pass for. That's what I'm saying.
It's just like those parents on the Disney Facebook group.
Okay. Okay.